You guys have seen in my last 2 vlogs that I've really struggled and have been really stressed out because of the amount of times that I've had to redo things in prosth lab. I won't lie, I have come home some nights because I was so frustrated, almost to the point of tears, that I felt like I just needed to, you know, call it a day and go home before I broke down in school in front of my classmates. Starting off this vlog a little differently with my fabulous open bite denture at home, because I decided to finish setting my teeth here just so that I have a little bit more time than when I'm in pre-clinic. I thought I would show you guys how I'm doing it, so let's get into it. Also, you'll notice that I'm in a new environment because we did actually finally move. Said I might document it, but honestly, on the days that we were moving, it was just kind of overwhelming, so I decided not to do that and just kind of focus on the move. I guess I will just show you guys as I vlog, but it's so much brighter, it's so much bigger. Each of us has our own space. But today, we are finishing setting the posterior teeth. I finished my mandibular teeth. I've got all of them right here. It's probably the toughest thing to ever do, to even get the anterior teeth signed off. It took me like 2 weeks, but now I've got some interferences that are causing my open bites. I need to set the teeth on this side in order to fix that. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. The reason why I felt like I could do this at home was because normally at school we have like a torch that we heat up and we use our instruments in order to shape the wax, and I thought, well, I have a gas stove that I could probably use to do the same thing, so that's what I'm gonna do. Obviously, this isn't a real patient case. I wouldn't bring a real patient case home, but I feel like this is okay. It works.
Much later.
So we're in school. I got some feedback. I did close my bite, but I do still have a little bit of an opening here. This side looks good. This side could use some work. But I did get about half of my maxillary done at home, so that's good. But I still have a lot to work on in terms of closing this area right here. But this is the closest I've been to getting it signed off in the past like month and a half, so this is actually really encouraging. Finally finished and got signed off on all 10 of the rubrics that we needed to make this mounted complete denture. It's not perfect, but it works. I've spent too many days working on this to keep finicking with it, because I've realized that because it's wax, the more you fix one thing, the more you can ruin something else. So I'd rather just submit as is and we'll see how it is. But it was good enough to be signed off, so that means it can't be too bad. I don't even want to submit this. I've spent so long that I'm like attached to it now. It's so weird that I'm gonna have to take this off and hand it in, but I'm glad that it's done. You guys, I am so unbelievably relieved that I finally got my denture signed off, because it was about to be due this coming Thursday. It is currently, oh my god, what day it is? It's Tuesday. Still had 2 days, but I just wanted to get it over with because the class was already moving on to the next thing, which is a partial denture. I didn't want to be behind for yet another thing in prosth. So honestly, doing a complete denture was one of the biggest challenges that we've had in dental school so far, and it's just so rewarding finally be able to get it signed off and submitted. You know, even though it's not perfect and there's always room for improvement. My camera died, so I couldn't finish off. Talk about just how challenging this course has been. We have had challenging assignments before, like competencies for things like crown preps and bridges. In those situations, it was very clear to us kind of like what we needed to do in order to succeed, whereas for prosth, it was a lot of subjective measures as well as objective measures. You were also working with a material that once you change one thing, you would alter another. Because it was a wax material that was supporting all of our denture teeth, it was hard to make adjustments to like one little part, because as soon as you heat up the wax, you kind of put your other set teeth in jeopardy. It has definitely been the most challenging assignment assignment, or group of assignments I should say, that we've had in dental school so far. I honestly can say I've gained a lot of respect for prosthodontists who do this all the time, and for laboratory technicians who do this all the time, because I had no idea just how much work and effort goes into creating each aspect of the denture, and because it is so heavily involved. Because if you think about it, you're doing a restorative procedure, you're really only ever seeing the patient for 1, 2, 3 appointments max. Denture procedures take 6, 7 appointments sometimes, and may even need more based on how many try-ons and how many adjustments you have to make. Honestly, I just never even understood the scope and the effort that goes into making something like that. And also in prosth lecture, we were talking recently about how when you make an appliance for someone, you have to make sure that you talk to them in terms of, you know, hygiene and how to clean their full and partial dentures, because my professor said something that was very important that I think a lot of people don't necessarily think about, is that there's a reason why a person has gotten to the point of needing a denture, meaning that they have lost a significant amount of their dentition. And whether that is hygiene practices, lack of education, lack of resources, you want to make sure that you're working with your patient once you make them a denture in order to, 1, keep it from progressing if they're wearing a partial, or 2, just make sure that they're keeping it clean if they're wearing a full denture, which all very, very important things. You guys have seen in my last 2 vlogs that I've really struggled and have been really stressed out because of the amount of times that I've had to redo things in prosth lab. I won't lie, I have come home some nights because I was so frustrated, almost to the point of tears, that I felt like I just needed to, you know, call it a day and go home before I broke down in school in front of my classmates. It's definitely been a challenging exercise, but it's so rewarding to see the end product of your work, and that, you know, it is something that can be functional and that a person can use. Obviously the ones that we're creating were based on a mannequin model, but it's just an example of what we will be able to create when we start seeing patients. And I gotta say, I got a decent amount done at home, and then once I came to school, I was able to get a little bit more guidance as to what the issue was, which was my open bite, and how to fix it. And I ended up making adjustments to both my mandible and my maxilla, and I ended up getting it done. So I am so relieved to say that it's done. Prosth, I think, has definitely been the most humbling experience thus far in dental school. So thankful that it's over. Well, not quite over. We still have 1 more assignment to do, but compared to making a complete denture over a complete denture, making a design for a partial seems like child's play at this point. So also, some of my classmates, when I told them that I was bringing my work home, were kind of looking at me like I'm crazy, but then one of my other classmates also decided to do the same, because when you are behind and you don't want to spend class time doing something that you could be doing on your own time, you know, no shame in bringing your work home. If it's safe to do it, I mean, why not? Anyway, I am exhausted and I still have some stuff to get done today. I'm actually working on my financial aid paperwork for next year, which is a lot of documents and a lot of things to worry about, and interest rates are rising, which is so sad every single year. You know, that's beside the point. So busy day today, but then I also have to prep for my very first patient tomorrow, which I am so stoked about. A little bit nervous, but I'm also so excited because I know that this has been culminating in years and years of work and preparation and anticipation, so I'm really excited. It's going to be like a recall visit, but I will actually vlog the whole thing so that you guys know exactly what it looks like, and that will be the next vlog coming up after this one. So I'm so excited for you guys to see it. I'm excited, I'm nervous, but hopefully it goes really well. Hopefully my patient shows up, because that does happen with recall visits. You know, sometimes people forget about their appointments or they cancel last minute. So fingers crossed that my patient actually shows up. We're actually working in pairs with our classmates, so hopefully it goes off without a hitch, but you guys will see all of it. Obviously I can't film inside the clinic, but I will tell you all about it. Thanks for coming along with me for my last day finishing my complete denture. It was a hell of a lot of work and I am exhausted, but I'm glad that I was able to document it, because part of the reason why I started vlogging was because I wanted to show you guys that things are not always sunshine and rainbows. Assignments will get turned away. You will hear that they're not good enough. You will hear that you can't submit something because it is done incorrectly, and you have to roll with the punches. You have to learn how to adapt. This was one of the first classes where it was several attempts of trying to get something approved and being told, okay, this is wrong, and then this is wrong, and then this is wrong. You know, your ego takes a hit a little bit, and when you are not used to hearing that you're doing something poorly, and it's not even that the feedback was that you're doing something poorly, it's just what your mind translates it as, where you're told, here's why I can't approve something, but your mind receives it as, okay, well, you did something wrong. So it was a lot of mental work that I needed to do personally, just to kind of not take it personally when I received feedback on my assignment. I definitely think that I've learned a lot and have grown a lot from it. Eternally grateful for our supportive TAs and our professor, who is incredibly knowledgeable and flexible in terms of expectations, because we can't, doing this for the first time, be expected to do this immaculately, but there's a certain level of competency obviously that you have to do it with, and that's where we were at with that. I'm rambling. Thank you so much for coming along with me today in one of my last days in prosth lab and one of my last days in pre-clinic ever, because we start seeing our patients and I'm just so excited. I can't contain myself. I probably won't even be able to sleep tonight. I'll see you guys in the next vlog where I will show you what my very first day seeing patients will look like. Bye.